welcome to the Motherload. I'm Amy Stober.
And I'm Ann Brown.
And today we have a parent who's going to talk to us a bit about anger. We call this a Motherload morsel, just 6 minutes targeted on a specific issue. And so Danielle, I'm going to have you take it away, but I think it's important to know that your daughter was recently diagnosed with autism, right?
Yes,
and
3-year-old.
A 3-year-old.
She is turning 3 next week, and that's the only transition that I can see coming. We're not moving. I'm pregnant, but haven't had the baby yet. But in the last 2 or 3 weeks, she's been very angry.
What you were saying was, I don't know if anything else has changed. We're not moving.
Right.
I'm pregnant. I haven't had the baby yet. I think this is something so common that we go through with kids, which is when our kids have a behavior, we try to say, well, is it because I'm pregnant? Is it because I'm moving? Is it because there was a fire at the house next door? When sometimes we just don't know.
Yeah.
It's because they're just going through something. And to me, the answer usually is yes and yes. Mm-hmm. That it is because of that, because we take in everything. And she clearly, have you talked about the baby?
Yes.
So she knows that
Yep.
there's change coming. Generally, when we talk about what brings anger out in kids, it is that change is coming. There's a change afoot and they're not happy about it.
Potty training, which is something we've been doing.
Well, you buried the lead.
Right.
Yeah, and I've given credit to that. I guess more specifically, my question is when do you stop and say, okay, she's not growing out? When is it a concern? When is it like my kid's angry?
Right. Well, first of all, behavior is a way of communicating, right? Whether it's angry behavior or sad behavior, right? And my goal always is to give them a way to talk about what's happening. And at 3, they're developing a lot more words, right? And so I don't know where Kennedy's verbal abilities are at this point. Is she pretty verbal?
She is verbal. She's normal developing to a degree. We work a lot with pictures. ESD really likes pictures. And so we've been trying, I've got a mouse and I've got a dragon. And so I'm trying to be like,
those are the 2 emotions.
You're talking like a dragon.
Dragon, yeah.
Actually, that's a great idea.
Great.
The other night, for the first time, she said, quiet like a mouse.
Yeah.
And so
wow.
she's
Good
getting
for you.
it.
Good for
She's
you.
getting it.
So don't label her as angry.
Okay.
Right? Like when you're saying,
Yeah.
part of the question is she just angry? Like at what point? I think all of us are angry sometimes, right? And what the goal is to find an appropriate, healthy outlet. Not so much we say, don't be angry, right?
Right.
It's not about not being angry. It's how do we find an appropriate outlet for the anger so that she can feel heard, so she doesn't have to like throw the card or the dragon back in your face.
Yeah.
Right? We want to
Right.
give her a way to express what's happening for her.
And I also think that depending on how she's expressing it, this is something we've talked about on other shows, which is when she expresses it physically, instead of trying to do what we all would do, which is, okay, she was just diagnosed with autism, she's only 3, is this okay? You say to yourself, would it be okay if a different kid hit me in the face,
Right.
or if she hit another child?
No.
That really helps us understand it
Puts it in
doesn't
perspective.
matter what it is. I think that I really like what you said about the anger, because anger in itself is not a warning sign. Anger in itself is not a red flag. It's how we have the ability to express that anger. And I think that probably in the course of a day, she has a lot to complain about. Don't we all? I mean, every single night. So
And anger is one way of expressing that.
anger, I think, is change. You know,
Yeah.
it's that she doesn't like change. There's a baby coming. There's all sorts of things. So again, when she says things like that, and if she says to you no or screams, what you can start with is saying, wow, that is really a dragon voice. Or you are really, that was really loud. I like to not label the word anger, just like you said. I like to not give the kids that word unless it's really clear what's happened.
Right.
Instead of saying, whoa, you really wanted me to hear that.
Right.
You
So
wanted
you
me
want
to
to
hear it.
respond somehow. You want to give them a healthy outlet. You don't want to overreact to the anger. You don't want to label your kid for this forever. And that's the Motherload morsel for today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Danielle. And you can see us on Facebook at The Motherload, Not Your Mother's Parenting Advice. Want to thank Pioneer Pediatrics for sponsoring this little moment. And remember, don't parent like my co-host.